I want to see the true difficulty of Terraria, so I played Terraria for 100 days on Master Mode. A couple of months ago, I beat Terraria, but it was not under 100 days, so not only is this going to be already hard, it's going to just challenge me overall. It's not possible for me to get all 100 days in this video, so if you want the uncut 100 days, go follow my Twitch here. If you don't feel like watching the entire video, in the comment section, I have timestamps for each major event. Now I'm gonna get out of here, and let's get into the challenge. Day 1 started by me getting a clock. I gave myself that just so you can see the time. If you think that is cheating, I do end up getting rid of it within the first 2 or 3 days, so just for now, ignore it. Now, day 1 really started by me farming up some wood. I wanted to get at least like 150 to 200 before I even started exploring the map. After getting enough wood for me to be satisfied, I went left to try to see if I could find a cave entrance. After about 5 seconds of walking, I found a cave entrance. Honestly, anything helps, so no matter what I find in this cave, it's very valuable to me because I just started out. But my main goal is to A, find some weapons, and B, find Hermes boots. If I can get Hermes boots, I can actually prep to kill the Eye of Cthulhu. Until I find Hermes boots, I am not going to fight the Eye, which can be bad because finding Hermes boots is all up to luck, honestly. The reason I need Hermes boots so bad is just because in Master Mode, the Eye of Cthulhu, especially in its last phase, is so fast. I need the Hermes boots to be able to just stay alive, honestly. After crafting some torches, I'm pretty much ready to go explore the cave. Now, I know I said anything is valuable, but a wand of sparking is not valuable. I didn't even grab it, honestly. I did take the grenades and I did take the healing potions, though. Now, this next chest was a lot more better to me. I ended up getting a menacing radar. Menacing is the best modifier for me because in Master Mode, pretty much anything can kill me, especially the bosses once I get later down the line, so Moonlord, Plantera, etc. And later down the line, whenever every boss is so strong that I have to either play perfect or die very quickly, I would rather prioritize menacing, which gives me more damage, than something like warding that gives me more defense. Getting this life crystal is huge because increasing my HP as fast as possible, especially in Master Mode, is very important. Well, speaking of life crystals, here's another life crystal. The rest of day 1 wasn't nearly as eventful. Up to this point, I thought this challenge would be super easy just because I had such a good first day. Then I died. And then I died again and again and again, over and over and over. So today was a blood moon, which is just so unfortunate for my first ever night in a world. Then I farmed just a little bit of cactus just to try to make a sword and maybe a piece of armor. After dying so much, I decided to try to make a base, and making a base didn't help because they could just break the doors down, so I just decided to lock everything out. I don't know why I didn't do that sooner, so here's my base fully done. Very creative, I know, but what I'm gonna do now is just stack this exact same design over and over and over on top of each other until we have a nice NPC hotel. On day 2, we got our first seriously good accessory. We got an aglet, allowing me to run a lot faster, which will help for not only the Eye of Cthulhu boss fight, but just for in general exploring. After going deeper into the cave, I found a magic mirror, which is pretty cool. Take a magic mirror. I'm not mad about it. I fucking used the magic mirror, bro. Now, after doing the walk of shame back to the cave, I made sure to grab as much iron as I could because iron armor is way better than no armor. In our next chest, we got some shoe spikes, which are going to be very convenient as time goes on. Now being able to just cling onto walls means I can't really die from fall damage unless I forget that I have shoe spikes, which I do actually do a lot. I went back home and immediately made a furnace so I can smelt down all the iron that I've got from this entire trip. With said iron, I ended up making a iron broadsword, which actually got ruthless on it as the modifier, which is pretty good. I do not like the no knockback kind of thing. It takes knockback away, which knockback is useful in a lot of situations, but the more damage is just overall more helpful. I ended up upgrading my chest plate and my headgear, and that was about it. Since I figured I hadn't fully explored the cave, I went back there for the rest of the night of day 2. Day 3 was not very eventful, but here are the nice things that I got from the cave. Notice how it's only 2 clips, and that's because the entirety of day 3 I spent dying. The entire time. I think I died maybe 20 times throughout the entire day. It literally got so bad that I couldn't even play the game anymore. I was not able to leave my area. I had to just expand my base. After finally finishing my base in day 4, I finally went out to go do something productive. Okay, now I finally used day 4 to do something productive. I decided to actually explore the map instead of just staying in the same confinements of my base. Yes, I found the jungle, the hardest biome to be in the entire game. I died, and I died a lot in the jungle. I mean, obviously, it is genuinely the hardest biome to be in, especially in pre-hard mode. It's just like hell. So then I decided to go to the left side of the map to explore that side. Now we're on the night of day 4, and I decided to build a platform just to prepare for the Eye of Cthulhu boss fight. Just because if I'm not going to be doing anything productive, because every single time I try to, I'm dying, I might as well build. Definitely could have made it bigger, I just didn't because I was tired of building. Not like it's possible for me to have such a small arena that I panic and run in one direction instead of going up or down and die to the Eye of Cthulhu. Thankfully, that's not possible, so I just kind of left it at that. I attempted to conquer the jungle and it went about as good as I thought it would go. And this is what I meant by earlier when I said I would forget that I have shoe spikes on. If I would have just grabbed the wall to the side of me, I would have not have died here. And it's not like I died and I was like, oh shit, shoe spikes. No, I literally just never talked about it. And I died like this maybe like 10 other times afterwards. I knew I had 0 coins to my name. I have 0 clue why I even tried to open the traveling merchant shop. I knew damn well I was not going to be able to buy anything. Same as the last day and pretty much every day, I've continuously died over and over and over and over again. I was in a really weird slump where I didn't know what to do. So all I could do was go back to the jungle and keep exploring. I mean, it literally got to a point where I was blowing myself up. That is how like bad it was when I'm talking about slump. After finding Hermes boots, I immediately wanted to try to fight the Eye of Cthulhu. I began by placing campfires all around my arena just so I can constantly like trickle health regen. After increasing my arena a little bit, I decided to try the Eye of Cthulhu boss fight. After about 5 seconds of fighting her, I immediately knew I was not going to be able to do enough damage to actually kill her. My method was using the setting that paused the game when I went to my inventory. I would change to fire arrows, make her burn, and then hit her with my gesture arrows. I did turn the setting off because it didn't really feel right to me. Not like it's possible for me to have such a small arena that I panic and run in one direction instead of going up or down and die to the Eye of Cthulhu. There was maybe 100 things I could have done other than just run in the exact same way and die. I decided to fix the problem of me not doing that much damage, so I went to the corruption to grab myself a musket because the musket does a lot of damage. Like, I always knew the musket did a lot of damage, but I didn't remember how much more damage compared to the other things I've been using. Get the musket, I don't care about anything else. How much damage does this do, by the way? 32 damage? Even now, I'm still shocked it does 32 base damage. Like, that's insane. Never remembered it doing that much damage, but I'm also the same guy who doesn't remember he has shoe spikes 90% of the time and dies to fall damage. I ended up getting lucky here and finding 2 life crystals back to back. And then I found another life crystal on top of that. This chest is pretty important because it gives me 2 splunker potions, and I didn't want to waste my last one on my other chest, so I just was like, screw it, and I popped it immediately. My only goal being to get a lot of platinum because getting platinum armor is probably my best option right now. Including the sapphire on my chest, this sapphire is enough to make a gem hook. So now I have a grappling hook. On the night of day 7, I decided I want to fight the Eye of Cthulhu again because I'm definitely over prepared now. I was so frustrated after I tried to fight the Eye a second time and it despawned. Up to this point, I have a very big chip on my shoulder because it's already day 8 now and I still have not killed the Eye of Cthulhu. Speaking of 8, it's the night of day 8 now because the entirety of day 8 just was completely nonsense. I just ran around the entire time. The night of day 8 was the same as day 8. It was just running around. I was trying to get lenses and I was very unlucky. I only got like 2 or 3, meaning at minimum I have to wait 1 more night to fight it because I would need to get the rest of the lenses crafted and summon it without it being too late where it despawns. I genuinely hate goblin armies. I'm so annoyed that it spawned. The only redeeming quality it has is that you can get the Tinkerer. Once you get the Goblin Tinkerer, you have access to so many more things, like you can reforge and you can combine different accessories. The Goblin Tinkerer is the only reason the Goblin Army I even tolerate it, because it's horrible. Like, it's just so obnoxious. Like, unless you're prepared, if you're like later in the game, maybe it doesn't matter, but like right now it's horrible. In the grand scheme of things, I'm insanely weak and they will just topple over me. I'm going to save you from the trouble and not make you watch the entire Goblin Army raid, but I will show you how many times I died. Every single time you die in Terraria, you drop a tombstone, and if you have enough tombstones around, you can spawn a graveyard. That is how much I died. I spawned an entirely new biome. On the night of day 9, I didn't do very much. I only got 5 lenses, meaning I was 1 lens away from being able to even summon the Eye of Cthulhu. Now, obviously, being already at day 10 now and not fighting the very first boss and beating it is very bad pace. I definitely wanted to be farther at this point, so I'm gonna have to lock in for the rest of the challenge. After constantly racing to thinking about what I should do, on the day of day 10, I decided to just completely over-prepare up to the point where no matter what it could have happened, okay, I was not losing this fight. Then, very unfortunately, as you you can tell, my game crashed. As I was reloading Terraria, I really didn't want to have to restart any amount of time. I didn't know when the last time it saved was, so we kind of just jumped into it. And as unfortunate as this was, it ended up being really good and actually was the turning point of this challenge. Having 5 lenses means that I have enough time to get 1 lens to be able to summon the boss, which is important because that means on the night of day 10, I can just straight up fight the boss instead of having to run around, find another eye, then fight it. And speaking of that, on the end of day 9, I ended up getting my last lens needed, so now whenever I want, I can make the boss summon and fight the boss. I decided to go back to the first cave I went to just to get as much platinum as I can, because if I could have a full set of platinum armor, I'm pretty much untouchable. On the hunt for platinum, I found a life crystal, and after finding that life crystal, I just continued to find more and more life crystals. I found so many life crystals that I ended up getting to max HP. With the combination of that and having more platinum than I will ever need, I also got this mushroom vanity set. Obviously, vanity sets don't do anything, they just kind of make you look different, but I thought they looked pretty cool. I ended up getting even more platinum. In this chest, I was able to get some more Splunker potions, and inside of this chest, I got another Eye of Cthulhu spawner, meaning I can fight the eye twice now, and plus the 6 lenses I got from the night prior. I got another life crystal, which I ended up using to make a heart lantern, so that way I can get a little bit more regen. As they say, 3rd time's the charm, so on the 3rd boss fight of the Eye of Cthulhu fight, within the first minute, I already did so much damage that she was on her 2nd stage. And after doing so much damage, I got her to her 3rd phase. The bad thing about the Eye of Cthulhu is that it just continuously dashes over and over again, which is why I'm very glad I got Hermes boots very early. My method was kind of to use the flaming arrows to have a burn effect on it, so that way, even as it's dashing, I can at least do damage, because having to try to hit it is very difficult. Another thing I wanted to say was, I don't really have a set class for this video. I wanted to play melee really bad because I've never beat the game in melee, but there's going to be a lot of bosses where I just use ranger because I'm more comfortable with it. But as you can see, we beat the Eye of Cthulhu on our 3rd try, and I tried it again just because I felt I was so dominant in the first fight. I'm not going to make you watch the entire fight over because this video is already kind of starting to get, starting to push it, considering it's barely day 10, but... And as you can see, we beat it again. So we capped day 10 off, killing the Eye of Cthulhu twice. Obviously, I would like to be farther at this point, so I decided to push everything else just to try to see if I can get back to where I want to be. I decided I would make a new world because in my other world, I physically couldn't get vile mushrooms because my entire corrupted biome was sand, and vile mushrooms do not spawn on sand, so I kind of just needed a way to get vile mushrooms so I can summon the next boss. I also didn't do anything in that other world. I specifically got vile mushrooms and left, but as you can see, we started to farm for rotten chunks, and we ended up getting a burger, which is very good because it's going to give me major improvements to my stats. It took me so long to build the arena just because of the amount of Eater of Souls that spawn, and I wish I could make this up. It was like non-stop spawning over and over, but eventually I did end up building it. It was already like 4 a.m, so I decided, you know what, I'm going to do it. If I lose, I'm getting off. If I win, we'll see what we can do from there. And yeah, I lost. I got my ass whooped, actually. I didn't do anything. I thought I would do so much more, but I didn't. So I decided to go into day 11 with the mindset of, I don't need to beat the boss. I just need to get enough dragon scales to get the pickaxe so I can get hellstone so I can progress the game. On the night of day 11, I attempted the Eater of Worlds once again, and I ended up dying once again. I'm starting to notice a trend here where as soon as I start to fight a boss, I get my ass kicked a couple times, like guaranteed. Now that's not good because we're on a time limit. I don't have time for that, especially when a lot of bosses you can only fight at night or a certain time zone. However, though, I know that I shouldn't be stressing that much about time. Like I should just play the game and quit worrying, but it was something that was always in the back of my mind. Out of worry and frustration, I fought it again and died again. On day 12, I completely gave up on the boss, and I decided I really just want to get the Reaver Shark because the Reaver Shark can mine hellstone, meaning I can completely skip the boss. The entire day and night of day 12 was wasted by me fishing, but on the morning of day 13, I eventually got it. Knowing I'm probably not gonna be able to do it. Reaver Shark, holy shit! Let's fucking go! Oh my gosh. Okay, great, dude. After 20 minutes of fishing, I finally got the Reaver Shark and I immediately went to work. I got way more than enough obsidian that I would ever need to make hellstone armor and tools. And I had 2 obsidian skin potions so I can actually mine hellstone. Let's go. We can finally mine hellstone now, so let's get to it. But wait, if you can't tell, something's wrong. The hellstone's not mining. Now, why, you might ask? It's because the Reaver Shark got nerfed. I didn't know it got nerfed. It cannot mine hellstone anymore. Not only did now I wasted a day, I also lost all the morale I just got from getting the Reaver Shark. And so I immediately got busy. I fought the Eater of Worlds, and I actually did pretty good this time. I ended up giving up on dodging and just stood there and started swinging my sword. You might be like, why don't you sound happier? You got enough shadow scales to get the pickaxe, right? And the answer to that is no, I'm not happy. As soon as I looked at my hotbar, I realized I only had 5 shadow scales. I need 6 to make the pickaxe. And so I frustratingly did it again. I fought him again, and I got enough shadow scales to make the pickaxe. So now on day 14, I went down to my mine, and I went to go farm hellstone. And then I died. But it's whatever, we'll just go back. Not only did I die the exact same stupid way, I also wasted an obsidian skin potion doing that. And obviously that potion is the only thing keeping me alive when I go in the lava to mine the hellstone. I did inevitably get down and I did start mining hellstone. I did some math. I needed about 200 to make the sword and armor. I knew I wouldn't have enough to make the pickaxe or axe because I'm gonna be cutting it close with only 1 potion. I'm gonna go ahead and hide the hellstone now that I have already gotten, and I want to keep it a surprise on if I actually hit 200 or not. I'm gonna quit acting like I'm not a brand new channel and I have nothing prior to this. Thank you if you made it this far. I hope you are enjoying the video. As frustrated as I may act on other streams in the future, I do always love a challenge and I really love these videos, so I'm going to continue to post these videos maybe once a week, maybe once every few days. I don't know, because so far it is taking a pretty long time to get done. Let's just say in about 2 days, I'm barely not even halfway done with the challenge yet, so it is definitely taking some time. But most definitely once a week, I do want to make videos, and I don't want to just do Terraria. I would like to expand to other survival games, maybe by viewer request or specifically games I like I like Grounded, I like Minecraft, etc. But it all depends as time goes on. Enough rambling, let's get to see if I actually got 200 hellstone. I cut it very close, but I ended out at about 230, which is more than enough to make the sword and armor. It is now the night of day 15, and since I kind of feel ahead, I wanted to start to do base building. Now, base building takes a lot of time, so I wanted to get it over with now instead of doing it later on. So I farmed up a lot of wood and began building. It did take me a little longer than it should have to build. It's now day 17. I will say right now, I'm going to cut out a lot of things from this video. So if as you're watching, you're like, hey, how did he get that sword? Or hey, how did he get that new pickaxe? Or hey, how did he get that NPC? So if it isn't something that is progressing the game, whether it's me getting one of the hardcore ores or me fighting a boss, I'm not going to be putting it on here. So let's say I get a kill and I get a really cool mob drop and I get a new sword or a new armor piece, I'm not going to be explaining it. Unless it's something really important, of course. But just because this entire challenge is 40 hours long in total, so having to put all of that down into a quick 30 to 40 minute video is very difficult. But I do try to explain most things. So again, sorry if there's something I missed. My apologies. I need to kill Skeletron to get the sword for Night's Edge. So, on the night of day 17, I decided to build a little arena and give it a try. Little did I know how hard this was going to be. I've actually, again, never played Melee, so I didn't know what to do. I got into this really weird point where I just kind of stood there and swung because I didn't know what to do. Like, normally when I'm Ranger, I can run around and shoot. That's kind of what you do. You run around, dodge, and shoot, but I can't do that on Melee. So after dying, I decided to rethink my strategy. On day 18, I decided to go to the jungle to get the Blade of Grass. Because to craft the Night's Edge, I need 4 swords. The Volcano, the fiery sword that I have right now, the Light's Bane, the purple sword I had earlier, the Blade of Grass, and then the Muramasa. The Muramasa is a sword I can only get after going into the dungeon after killing Skeletron. I spent the entirety of day 18 farming for the Blade of Grass, and after getting the Blade of Grass, I went to go fight Skeletron back at my arena, which I died, so. On the day of day 19, I decided to gamble for reforges. And after getting a shitty reforge, I lost everything. I mean everything. I sold literally everything that had value to him so I can gamble. But I ended up still getting the Tinker's Table and the Rocket Boots. I used the Tinker's Table to combine my Rocket Boots and Hermes Boots to make Spectre Boots. Using those Spectre Boots and the Aglet and Anklet of the Wind I had, I made Lightning Boots. I went on to explore the ice biome to try to find the ice skates, so that way I can combine those to make a new pair of boots. It was very unsuccessful, but what I did find was slush. Now, if I use slush and put it in an extractinator, I can get minerals and money, which I can use to keep gambling. All of my gambling paid off because I ended up getting Pointy, which is pretty decent because it gives me more overall damage. After getting that, I decided to go fight Skeletron again. I did end up getting off here because I got my ass whooped really bad. As day 20 rolled around, I had a goblin army spawn. Normally I hate this and I would be mad as hell, but because of my new sword, the Volcano, I'm able to just shred through them. I decided to expand my Skeletron arena just to try to make the fight a little easier. That night I fought Skeletron and died, so the very next day I went back to the ice biome to look for ice skates, because if I can find ice skates, it'll help me progress really well. After very tediously looking through the entire snow area, I did find ice skates. Then I made frost spark boots. That night I died to Skeletron again. That morning I went to farm more hellstone because I was starting to get so frustrated of dying to Skeletron, which I'm gonna spoil it, I die a lot more to Skeletron. I'm at a point right now where I'm very stuck. I really can't progress without killing Skeletron because I want to get the Miramasa so I can get the Knight's Edge. And as the days go on, I began losing a lot of hope. I mean, to the point where I was even questioning if I can continue doing this video. But I decided to push onward nevertheless. Dying again, I was in the same situation of I really can't progress anymore, honestly. I feel like I have the best things that I could possibly have and I'm still getting my ass whooped. And it's not like I'm getting close, I'm just getting destroyed every single time. I farmed up some redstone that day just to make a lot of hellfire arrows because I really liked how they worked. That night I made hellfire arrows and I tried it again. After doing the most damage I've ever done, I died. After this loss, I started questioning a lot. I started questioning if I was actually going to beat it. I started questioning when I was going to beat it, etc. I didn't even know if I had enough time to beat this and still beat the game. So I'm going to ask you, the viewer, when do you think I'm going to beat Skeletron? If at all, anyway. Which is what I would have said if I lost, but I did actually end up beating him. It took me the entire night to get the Miramasa, but here it is. And on the exact same day, I created the Knight's Edge. After testing out the Knight's Edge and how it swung, I went down to hell to create the platform to fight the Wall of Flesh. And exactly 2 days later, it was finished. I decided I wanted to get bee-nades to help fight with the Wall of Flesh, so I went to go fight the Queen Bee and accidentally summoned her. To make it even worse, I only had 100-something HP, and I couldn't use my heals yet. If I didn't have a Knight's Edge, I definitely would not have beat her, but thankfully my Knight's Edge shredded her HP. The game is always trying to rage bait me or just fuck with me. I don't know what it is, but I died as soon as I killed her, but I still did end up getting the stuff. It was just really annoying to have to run back and grab it. I wanted to fight her again to get more bee-nades, and this time I actually got to build a real arena and have full HP and be prepped. Fight was still pretty close, but I did end up beating her the second time around, and I didn't have some stupid, oh, you died, but you had to run back and grab the stuff kind of thing. I actually got the stuff and went home. She is the third boss we've killed in this run, so I happily placed her relic down and opened the treasure bags. I ended up getting 39 bee-nades, which made me more than comfortable to fight the Wall of Flesh. As I was fighting him, it went really well until I died. I died with 300 HP left on his HP bar. Yet 300 HP and I would have won, and I died. After angrily running back to hell to refight, I actually beat him this time, which is pretty good for me considering that I've been struggling on every boss up to this. The treasure bag didn't have anything good in it, anything good for me anyway, so I just kind of moved on past it. It was actually the zoologist's birthday, and so I just pretended that it wasn't the birthday, that it was just a celebration for me beating the Wall of Flesh. That's going to be part 1 of 3 of this 100-day Master Mode series. Make sure you follow my Twitch for not just the rest of this challenge, but any other future challenge I do. When you follow my Twitch, you can be at the end of the outro. So yeah, that's about it. Bye.